today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to install an invisible zipper. You can't see it. Hi friends, welcome back to So Obvious. I'm Apollinar. Hi friends, welcome back to So Obvious. I'm Apollinar. Invisible zippers are used in a variety of garments, specifically women's wear and dresses. Invisible zippers are commonly used in garments where you don't want to see the zipper or even the stitch lines of where the zipper is, like you would for a centered zipper or a lap zipper. Invisible zippers require a specific kind of zipper foot. You can't use your regular zipper foot. I mean, you can, but it's not going to turn out as nice. Today, I'm going to show you guys two different ways to install the invisible zipper. The first way is going to be the way that the instructions are in the packet when you buy the invisible zipper. And the second way is going to be a way that I recently learned on YouTube that I think is really great, and it's probably the way I'm going to install most of my invisible zippers from now on, because it just looks so much nicer, so much better. The first method we are going to learn to install an invisible zipper is the quote-unquote traditional way. This is actually the method that is given to you in instructions in the zipper packet. It is very simple. However, because of the way that it is constructed, sometimes it leaves a little bit of a bubble effect on the bottom of the zipper. Now, the thing about invisible zippers is that we have to press them first. As you can see, when it's closed, the zipper teeth are on the wrong side of the zipper. As you can tell, this is the back of the zipper pull. And on the right side, it looks just like a seam. What we are going to do is we're going to open it up, and we're actually going to press with our iron the teeth so that they turn and the back looks flat and the teeth go to the front. What that does is it causes the zipper tape to kind of become like a V, and then when you install it in the fabric and zip it up, it pulls the fabric in, and that's why it looks like it's invisible. One thing that's important to remember before pressing is that the teeth are plastic, so you do not want to hold the iron directly on it for too long because they will melt. I know what you're thinking, why would I insult your intelligence by saying that to you? But believe me, there is someone somewhere out there who will be doing exactly what I tell you not to do. So let's press it. So the easiest way that I find to press this is I hold this part with my finger just enough for the corner or the tip of the iron to catch it. From then on, you just kind of keep pushing it and steaming it as you go along. And if you're pushing it right, the zipper teeth will want to follow naturally. So here's the side that I pressed. It looks flat from this side. Here is the part that I haven't pressed. You can still see the teeth. So let's go ahead and press the second side. Once you have it pressed, the zipper teeth should be pushed over to the right side. And one way to tell if it's done right is once you close it, do you see how the tape is pushing together now in the middle? That's how you know you pressed it correctly. So now we're going to install one side of the fabric, then the other. And the way you do that is you take the right side of the zipper and you are going to place it to the right side of the fabric. And you are going to place it so that it's 5/8 of an inch from the raw edge. Once you have it there, you're going to pin it in place. Just for the sake of the video, I'm going to say that this is where we're going to stop our zipper. So that's where I'm going to finish sewing. Now we are going to go to our sewing machine and we are going to use our invisible zipper foot. This is the invisible zipper foot that I have. There's different kinds. This came with a kit that I bought with like 30 different types of feet. If your machine doesn't come with an invisible zipper foot, you can purchase one. There's plastic ones and there's metal ones. The plastic ones you will probably have to put together yourself. I've never used one of those plastic ones, so I can't really tell you if they're good or not. These metal ones are great. What's special about the invisible zipper foot, you can see that it's got 2 different grooves at the bottom. So what you do is when you put it in your machine, you actually put the zipper teeth from the invisible zipper under whichever groove you're using, depending on which side of the zipper you're sewing. And then when you sew it, the needle actually goes right next to the zipper feet. So it makes it a really, really nice and clean line. So I'm gonna go ahead and install the foot, snap it in place. All right, now I'm gonna have to move my needle to make sure it actually goes through. So let's do that so I can pull it through underneath. You want your thread to be underneath. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out which of these grooves I'm going to put my zipper into, which is going to be this one here. And then I'm going to lower the needle to make sure that I am sewing right next to where I want, which is right there. And now all we're doing is just sewing a straight stitch. Don't forget to back stitch at the beginning and at the end. Let's take this out. Rough finish. And if you watch, the zipper teeth are going to follow perfectly inside that little groove on the bottom of the foot. Here you can see that the stitch is right next to the zipper teeth. And because of these grooves, you don't even really have to make sure that the line stays straight. You just kind of have to guide it on through. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pin the other side of the fabric right side to the right side of this zipper. And then we're going to repeat the process and sew again. Now, when putting this part of the tape to the other side of the fabric, to the other piece of fabric, is very common for people to pin the zipper tape backwards, or sometimes even twist it like that, and then it makes it really hard because once you sew it, you're gonna have a really up looking garment. So one thing that I always do to make sure I try and avoid that is zip the zipper closed so that I know that I'm putting it to this specific side of the tape. And it's actually a great way to tell if the piece that you just sewed is put in properly or not. Which this one is. Okay, so now I'm going to unzip it, and I know confidently that this is the part of the zipper that I'm going to attach to the right side of the other piece. So here I have the zipper tape pinned. A great way also to remember if you're putting it right or not is that the zipper teeth should be on the inside, not towards the edge of your fabric when you're pinning it together. So now we're going to do exactly what we did for the last one. We're going to put it under the foot, line up the groove, and then we're going to sew. This time, however, we're going to line it up with the other groove. So the first time I used the groove on the right, now I'm going to use the groove on the left because I'm sewing on the other side of the zipper. Which means that I'm going to have to move my needle a little bit to make sure that I don't sew into the teeth. There we go. Now we're going to back stitch and just sew on straight. Again, here you see the stitch is right next to the zipper feet. Now we can close our zipper to make sure that it is in fact invisible. And here we have our invisible zipper. Now that we got this zipper done, this is the part that always gets to me and the part that always makes my zipper look unprofessional. I know this is something that a lot of people struggle with, which is now that the zipper is done, we are going to finish the rest of the seam. We're going to stitch from this side up until this part here where the zipper ends. Now the reason why this is such a problem for people is because sometimes the zipper gets in the way of sewing the perfect line, and it makes it either like shift a little bit or it creates a little bit of a bubble in the fabric. I'm going to switch from my invisible zipper foot to my regular foot. If you move your needle, make sure you turn off and return on your machine so that your needle resets to where it's supposed to be. Moment of truth. Okay, so the rest of the seam is stitched, but as you can see right here, and it might not be a big deal to some people, but to me it is, just because I know I can do better. But sometimes it ends up being a little crooked right there, sometimes it ends up being a little bit of a pucker in there, and that's my biggest problem with doing this specific method. So now that we get the invisible zipper attached, the only thing we got left to do is to cut it down so that we don't have this extra piece here. Now, one way certain people do it is you put the zipper underneath your machine, very slowly, just go back and forth here to create a tack, and then cut it about ½ an inch below that. Some people just take their sewing needles and kind of sew over and over and over a little loop here, tie it off, cut it off there. Since we're already in the machine, let's go ahead and do the machine method. Now, if your machine is very finicky, I wouldn't recommend this. I mean, I shouldn't be recommending this in the first place, but this is the way I was taught in school, but we used industrial machinery over there. Then you just take your scissors. And clip it. And now we're going to go back to our working table. Here we have the invisible zipper. This is, like I said, the quote-unquote traditional way. Now all we got left to do is to do some pressing. And here we have it all done, all pressed. Invisible zipper. If you like today's video, make sure that you like, comment, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can also follow me on Instagram on @apollylook, where I post pictures of my current projects and any upcoming videos that will be on here. If you didn't like today's video, go back to the beginning and watch it again and repeat the process until you do like it, because I need the views and the watch time. Okay, bye.